Last week, two big things happened in the stock market. One was Dell Computer, and the second was Micron, which crossed over $1 trillion valuation. Hi, my name's Ken Carpenter, and this is Invest AI Savvy, where AI powers smart investing. Welcome to Saturday, May 30th, 2026. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different and deviate a little bit from a prepared script. I'm going to speak to you basically with no script and just tell you what I know versus what I read. And yeah, the big thing that happened last week was Dell. Dell Computer had the best day in its history. It was up over 32% on Friday. And the strange thing about this is that nobody saw this coming. I saw several analysts doing reports on Dell, and most of them claimed that they had no idea where this came from. It blindsided a lot of folks that just covered Dell for their, that's all they do is cover Dell. And so Dell had this huge amount of sales that were associated with AI and the hyperscalers building out new infrastructure. And what do they have to do? Well, they have to buy Dell servers and Dell equipment. And apparently, Michael Dell is involved in all the big enterprise sales. So you've got this guy, multi-billionaire guy that's sitting in the sales office making calls, drumming up business, closing deals with the Pentagon. And so you've got a super salesman, super results with Dell. And if you're holding Dell right now, you're very, very happy. Another big news last week was Micron crossed the $1 trillion capital valuation. And so Micron basically broke the mold as far as memory goes. Micron was up and down for years, but now Micron can look at its whole production schedule is tied up with future contracts. So basically, they've run out of capacity and they're sold out for years. So that pushed Micron up over $1 trillion valuation. So the sad thing about this is that my system, which I call BuzzPulse, completely missed these moves. My system is based on looking at social sentiment and chatter on the internet. What are big, well-respected news outlets like Dow Jones and Bloomberg talking about last night or in the last 24 hours? And then my system goes out and looks at all these different sources of information to see whereas there's a correlation between the stock that people are talking about, and if that stock has a positive upward momentum, are there options flows that confirm the direction of the movement? What are the major institutions? What type of positions are they taking? And then we'll put this all together and we'll come up with a couple, like a signal of the day, or, something top on the greed list. A greed list is basically stocks that we think could do very well, but there's some also possibility that it might be some kind of a pump and dump scheme. So greed list is where you want to be careful, right? So even though after I put all this sophisticated measurements and valuations and metrics and scans that my system BuzzPulse does every 6 hours, it missed the biggest moves. And so I'm sort of sitting here scratching my head thinking, maybe my system needs a little bit of retooling, because while I'm trying to find some winners and make a little scratch on the side, at the same time, people are doubling their money in a day with Micron and Dell Computer. And my system didn't see it because basically I categorize those stocks as large cap. Philosophy is that large cap is never going to take off and blow up and double in size overnight, like sort of like Micron and Dell just did. So it's sort of a it's sort of an indictment of the BuzzPulse system. So I've got to stand here in front of the microphone and face the music, and the fact that, maybe the fact that I just vibe coded this whole system together and Claude wrote it for me, uh, it didn't work. I mean, people are getting rich right now, but my system is pulling names out like BlackBerry, which was the topic of one of my shows this last week. BlackBerry. I'm embarrassed to even say that I covered BlackBerry, because it's like an obsolete phone to me. It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, we're gonna have to get over our embarrassment and my personal feelings of shame for missing these big moves on these big stocks. That basically I said, oh, don't even look at large caps. So that's on me. And but that's when I like to get to my disclaimers, that please don't take anything I say as investment advice, because obviously what I'm telling you is flawed. I'm just trying to work through making the system work and try to find some winners based on social sentiment and chatter and a lot of other different things that I'm gauging and trying to measure on the internet. So anyway, if you look today on my dashboard, basically the big news is Virgin Atlantic. No, I'm sorry, Virgin Galactic, right? We've got 9 convergence signals on that, meaning that basically a lot of people are talking about it, and it's getting some positive recognition based on them returning back to space. And probably also the fact that Virgin Atlantic had a success while the Blue Origin rocket blew up on the launch pad a couple days ago, which was definitely not a good situation. So now let's move on. And please, like I said, don't take any of this as investment advice. Do your own research. We're in a good time to invest in stocks right now, because the S&P's up like the 9th week in a row. The Dow closed over 51,000 for the first time ever. The same time, we've got this whole situation going in the Strait of Hormuz, where they're trying to make a peace deal. They have a potential peace deal right now, but President Trump is still thinking it over and deciding, are we going to make peace, or are we going to go in there and kick a dollar sign, right? So that's sort of in the background, but the VIX right now is really low at 15. So, there's a lot of folks that are just sort of scratching their head. The market's going up, and we could be one step away from Armageddon. So anyway, that's the signal of the day. Virgin Galactic. The ticker symbol on that is SPCE. And, we've got all these different convergence layers. The buzz surge score momentum is looking good. And even the options flow is indicating that Virgin Galactic is up, something to take a look at right now. Now, going back to Dell and Micron, I can't shake this feeling like, even though I scanned 57,000 stocks, I missed the biggest movers of the week. So, you know what, that's on me. And that's why I'm not wearing an Aloha shirt today. So, we're going to have to get over it. And, Dell actually 32% up yesterday, and anyway, so let's go on and let's take a look at another name in the news is BigBear.ai and Hyperscale Data. So BigBear.ai, ticker symbol is BBAI, and Hyperscale Data is GPUS. And basically, these are 2 AI plays. BigBear.ai is software that makes decisions based on incomplete data. And Hyperscale Data, ticker symbol GPUS, is a holding company running a data center with a bunch of Bitcoin on their balance sheets, and they're renting crypto mining capacity And unfortunately, BigBear.ai did not earn a top conviction and didn't get the highest level of social momentum score. So they they did well, but be careful on that one. So one more name to take a look at might be Webull, which is ticker symbol BULL. And that showed up on our radar, but nothing real strong signaled there. So, oh, my cat's getting a little crazy here. Let's put it all together here. You know, we had a couple misses last week. We missed the Dell, we missed the Micron. Virgin Galactic was up, and you know, I'm Ken Carpenter. This is Invest AI Savvy, and that's the way it is.